Hi friends, welcome to our channel. We love to bring movie reviews to you. This review video has 4 sections to it: general information, review, rating, and conclusion. To save your time or to skip a section, please feel free to click on the time specified. Knock at the Cabin is a horror movie made based on a 2018 novel, The Cabin at the End of the World. The movie is rated as R for scenes of violence and language. The length of the movie is 1 hour and 40 minutes. On casting, we will cover a few. Dave Bautista appears as Leonard. Nikki Amuka-Bird appears as Sabrina. A.B. Quinn appears as Adrian. Rupert Grint appears as Redmond. Kristen Q appears as Wen, the child. Jonathan Groff appears as Eric, parent of Wen. Ben Adledge appears as Andrew, the other parent of Wen. The movie is directed by Night Shyamalan. The movie is a fiction, but has a tie with a common concept of apocalypse and the Four Horsemen. When a 7-year-old is vacationing in a cabin near a New Jersey forest area with her adopted same-sex parents, Eric and Andrew. She is seen catching grasshoppers and naming them when an unknown man approaches her. He introduces himself as Leonard and tells Wen that his heart is broken because of what he has to do. Wen becomes suspicious when Leonard is joined by 3 others with strange weapons. Leonard tells Wen that they 4 have the most important job in the entire world. Wen runs to her parents, Eric and Andrew, and tells them that there are 4 strangers outside the cabin. Eric and Andrew, relaxing on the deck, do not believe Wen, but that's when they hear a knock at the cabin. Eric calmly and respectfully asks them to go away. Their attempt to call police fails as the landline phone connection has been disconnected. The 4 strangers break into the cabin. During the break-in, Eric sustains a concussion. Both Eric and Andrew are tied to the chair in the middle of a cabin. Leonard and the 3 others introduce themselves to the family. Sabrina introduces herself as a nurse living in South California and having spent all her savings to meet the family at their cabin in New Jersey. Leonard introduces himself as a 2nd grade teacher, also working part-time as a bartender. Redmond introduces himself as a person having done questionable things in the past and now working in a gas company. Adrian introduces herself to be a cook living with 2 cats. After introductions, they clarify that they are ordinary people who had visions, compelling them to find the family and have absolutely no intention to harm them. The only reason the 4 are in the cabin is to ask the family to choose and sacrifice one of them willingly in order to save the world from the apocalypse. Leonard explains that if they fail to choose, there will be 4 punishments. Oceans will rise, a plague will descend, the sky will fall, and finally an unending darkness will blanket the earth, killing all humanity. Leonard also warns them that in addition to the apocalypse, the family alone will survive and walk the wrecked earth. He explains the rules of sacrifice as one cannot kill themselves but must choose another person and kill them as a sacrifice. He mentions that throughout history, many families have done such a choice and sacrifice, and every time Eric and Andrew gives them no as an answer, hundreds of thousands will die. Eric and Andrew believe the group is lying and are there because of hate and prejudice. This is because of the hate their own parents, the community has shown them as a same-sex couples. After explaining the consequences, the family gets asked for the very first time if they are willing to make a choice. Eric and Andrew says no. Redmond covers his face, kneels in front of Eric and Andrew and says, "Part of humanity has been judged." Leonard, Sabrina and Adrian kill Redmond, drags his body to outside of the cabin and then cleans the blood on the floor. Leonard asks to switch on the TV. In the news, media reports devastating tsunamis which Leonard says is the first punishment and the beginning of the apocalypse. Sabrina is seen cleaning Eric's head injury and sharing her story and visions with him. When Eric comes out of the room, Andrews asks Eric to think straight and not to lose his mind by accepting their demands. Eric tells Andrew that he saw a figure of light as Redmond dies. Wen meanwhile escapes but gets caught by Leonard, who tells the family that no one is allowed to leave the cabin until a choice has been made. Wen, while having breakfast, steals a knife and gives it to Eric to cut his rope. This time, Adrian comes in front of Andrew and Eric to ask them if they are ready to choose and sacrifice one of them. She begs Andrew and Eric to consider, as she does not want to lose her only son Charlie. Andrew and Eric answers no again. Adrian covers her face and kneels down. She says a part of humanity has been judged. She gets killed by Leonard and Sabrina. They watch news again to hear about the second punishment plague. This time, a new X9 virus is spreading all over the world, killing humanity. Andrew insists that the news is a coincidence and what they are seeing is actually appreciative news broadcasting. Andrew escapes and grabs his gun from the truck and shoots Sabrina. He notices that all tires of his truck are slashed. With gun in his hand, Andrew asks Leonard to go inside the restroom. After a short physical altercation, Andrew shoots Leonard, but Leonard overpowers him and steals his gun. Leonard, after covering Sabrina's face, asks Andrew and Eric if they are ready to make a choice. They say no. Leonard kills Sabrina and takes her body to another room inside the cabin. Leonard, together with Andrew and Eric, watch the news on the TV. With the third person now dead, they hear the news that almost 700 planes have fallen from the sky. This news confirms the third punishment, that the sky will fall down and shatter like glass. Leonard, to prove that their visions are real, goes in front of the TV and says every word of the news reporter before she even says it. Andrew and Eric still stay stubborn on the decision. Leonard then takes them to the deck, tells them that they do not have a lot of time as the sky begins to blacken. He tells them that once he dies, they will only have few minutes to make a choice. He then asks Andrew and Eric one last time if they are ready to make a choice. Both say no. Leonard says all humanity has been judged and slashes his throat. Andrew and Eric then see lightning striking the earth and chaos everywhere. They ask when to go to the treehouse and then goes inside the cabin for a discussion. Eric tells Andrew that he believes the vision and is ready to be sacrificed. He claims that he saw a person in the light before Redmond was killed, including a vision of Andrew and an adult Wen in the future. Eric tells Andrew that they were chosen to sacrifice because of their pure love. He asks Andrew to kill him as they do not have a lot of time. Andrew reluctantly shoots Eric and goes to the treehouse. From there, he witnesses lightning striking the cabin and destroying it along with all the dead bodies. Andrew and Wen then finds a truck which was used by the four visitors, Leonard, Sabrina, Adrian, and Edmund. Andrew sees their ID cards and realizes that everything the four said were true. Both Andrew and Wen goes to a nearby crowded diner to watch news and happy to hear that everything is getting back to normal in the world. The remaining planes are landed safely, the lightning strikes have stopped, and the impact of X9 virus has slowed down. Andrew and Wen then return to the truck and drive away. We heard the radio playing the same song that was played on the family's arrival to the cabin. As we already know, this is a Night Shyamalan movie with a great storyline and an excellent screenplay. Very good acting performance overall. The movie, though a fiction, reminds us of many things about the apocalypse mentioned in the Bible and the four horsemen. Whether the movie is a fiction or not, it raises a lot of questions. Are we living because of sacrifices of unknown people in this world? Why Eric and Andrew's family was selected to make a choice? What will happen if we are asked to make a choice to save all of humanity? Did Eric and Andrew kill thousands of people by delaying the decision? Isn't the value of those lives more than the life of Eric and Andrew? Why is God or the Creator demanding such a sacrifice? How does the sacrifice impact the crooked behavior of humankind, especially when it does not hear about the sacrifice? If God does demand a sacrifice, can the person die only for the good people on the earth, instead of all, especially if one wants to avoid another sacrifice in future? With destruction all over the world today, like wars, COVID, mass killings, pollution, climate change, maybe we are not far away from an apocalypse triggered by our own humankind. On the movie, Eric and Andrew's attempt to block doorways in the break-in scene did appear to be very silly, as those doors and windows were made of glass. With four unknown people having a vision, coming together and giving their life willingly without any concerns of their dependence, I guess the director has a lot of storyline to create one or more movies as a precursor to this one. Movie is very thrilling, entertaining and enjoyable. Book your tickets at your convenient and relaxing time. That's all about the movie today, folks. If you like to keep in touch, enjoy our videos and save your time, feel free to subscribe and like our videos. Do provide your feedback in the comment section below. Bye, adios, sayonara, slan and vanakkam.